Oh, darn it. I need to turn it up. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Carnival Cruising related. My name is Trevor Shelby, and joining me on this crazy cruising adventure is my kooky friend, Thomas. Get it!
Kooky friend?
Yeah, kooky. You were singing beforehand, and it was very odd.
I was singing the bass part to Jungle Boogie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, it was very odd. So, how have you been, my friend?
I'm okay. I'm house sitting right now for Brian and Shelly, Trent and Addie's parents, because Trent's graduating boot camp this week, and they went to Chicago. So I'm watching their dogs and their cats,
Nice,
everything, and
very cool.
So congratulations to the newest member of the United States Navy, Trenton Lee Hayes.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to see Trent, you could actually hop on over to one of our episodes with Trent. Is one of our last times that we actually did we've had a guest. Really,
he was one of the last guests we had. Yeah.
So he was just going into just before boot camp, and so absolutely glad to hear he made it through. I'm still concerned. He doesn't realize there's no Guy's Burgers on those ships. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying
there's no water slides either.
Oh no, that he's gonna be bummed out, but poor guy. He'll live though. But anyways, man, how has your week been?
Busy.
Yeah,
I finished up my move this past weekend, and so that kept me pretty busy, and I started doing my second job again because got to get that money.
I know. I haven't talked to you in days, it seems.
Well, one day, because
days. I've been
one day.
So just we have to talk daily. That's like a law. We do it every day.
Well, it's not my fault.
It is your fault. You did answer the phone yesterday. I was like, he's dead. He's dead. I called your mom. Your mom was she was like, I'm sure he's not dead. And I was like, pretty sure. I hate to be the one to tell you, but he's dead.
I'm not dead. Contrary to popular belief, I am not dead.
Hashtag where's Thomas?
I know people want me dead, but
who?
The Mexican mafia and stuff like that.
Never mind. I was stand with Thomas, and you said Mexican mafia, and I was like, never mind. Anyways, you're on your own. Oh man, well, it's been a interesting week for me. It's what's funny is we record this on Wednesdays, and so it was like Tuesday night last night, and I was like, man. I was like, is it only Tuesday? It feels like it should be Thursday because it's been a long week already.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we're in my busy season, and my days of meetings has gone into days of actually working.
Mm-hmm. So, well, we have some interesting topics for you guys today. We've got we kind of got an interesting topic for our main topic. We're going to talk about planning your cruise. Maybe it's your first cruise. Maybe it is your 17th cruise. Who knows? But we're going to be talking about the ins and outs, things to think about, and definitely plan for when you're doing that. We do have our Spooktober event, or whatever we're calling it. It's a pirate party or something.
Oh no, you named it.
I don't know. It was a ridiculous name. It's gonna be October 28th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's gonna be live on Facebook. Make sure you were able to come. It would be so wonderful to have you there. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So you'll be able to see us do this crap live, and we will get strange with it. And we do have a very interesting topic that Mr. Kennedy found. And he sent to me today, and I swear I read it.
Well, if you haven't, this was actually on John's page yesterday. This passenger who is actually on the Pride right now said, actually, no, I guess they're not on the Pride, but it says, on our recent Pride cruise from Rome, we had a table of 10. After long days in ports, we did not always make it on time for early seating and came into the main dining room at intervals. This really threw our service off, and therefore our service suffered. One evening, we were all 40 minutes late. That is all. The restaurant manager told us we had to eat at the buffet or come back to see if there were any tables available at the late seating. That is not acceptable with teenagers. If Carnival puts a cruise together with long stays in ports, then expect many to be late. We were punished for being 30 minutes late. Unacceptable. You are monsters. Well, first off, if you can't teach your children to be on time, fuck them. Because if you make a reservation at a restaurant, which is basically what you're doing if you have seated timing, like
early or late dining.
Yeah, time. Yeah, Then that's a reservation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have the right to turn you away at that point. They'll give your table away. If you have that hard of a time, get late dining or your time dining.
Yeah, that was what I was going to suggest, was kind of like an anytime dining kind of situation, because the thing is having done that now at least once, I enjoyed it, because a lot of people, like I'm going on this cruise here in November. My sister, who put all this together, was like, "Hey, we're going to do this time dining. I think they chose early, and I think, or maybe I don't remember what we ended up with. Anyways, but they were like, we only went with that because we wanted to have the same wait staff day after day. We didn't want to have the change wait staff all the time." And they weren't aware that they actually try to keep you with the same wait staff every night on any time. So, or your time dining. So that's one thing that I wanted to point out. So it was a 6-day cruise. Out of those 6 days, we ate main dining every night. There was only one night that we did not have our wait staff. So they tried hard to keep us there. So
also, I really think that, if you're not willing to, teach your children how to be on time for something, then that's your problem, not Carnival's.
Yeah.
Because dinner only takes an hour anyway. And then they got to, if you're 40 minutes late, then late dining starts 30 minutes after, where you came in.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's just unfortunate, because they if you watch the dining staff, they all are on the same schedule basically. And so, they get your hors d'oeuvres out right away, and then you notice all the other tables are getting them too.
yeah.
Then you get your main course, and if you notice, all the other tables are getting them too.
And you get dessert.
and
you get your coffee, and
Yeah.
everyone else is getting your coffee and dessert at the same time as well.
Yep. So everybody's getting it at the same time. You're getting it just the flow of it's a little bit better. It'd make it easier on everything, and I'm sure it helps in those kitchens.
I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to be a couple minutes late.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to show up almost an hour late.
Right. I've been 10 minutes late before. I've been guilty of that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but if I was beyond 10, 15 minutes late, I'd just give up at that point. I'm just being honest. I've seen people be later, but if you're 30 minutes late and you show up expecting food, oh, get out of here, man.
Dude, they had the same stuff at the buffet. Go to the buffet.
Yeah, pretty much. I have seen times where there's some things not exactly on the buffet.
I mean,
but yeah.
I mean, on our last cruise, we had 2 late stops, and we had no problem.
But I will say that, damn, like our last cruise, I would almost have preferred not to have. I would have preferred just to have jumped around to all the other eateries that we went. So,
which is what, on the late stops, that's what we did, because we did the teppanyaki one night, and I don't remember what I did for the second long stop.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I get what you're saying though. If you're that late, don't be surprised when they turn you back. If they let you have food at that point, just consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
So I did want to bring something up, something that I thought was interesting that I did kind of locate down. So, like pre-pandemic, so 2019, cruises doing well. Cruise industry is actually, booming.
Cruise industry is doing real well right now.
Yeah, so things are going well. 2020 hits and things, suffer. So, but did you know that cruise prices right now are 40% more expensive than they were in 2019, which pre-pandemic? So not only have we recovered from the pandemic, we have now gone over. So we're paying a lot more for cruises now, which is why I think it is important. Actually, Amanda from Have Luggage Will Travel had reminded me, hey, you guys really need to book in on this cruise. And I was like, hey, I'm getting there. And it was funny because we, prices are going up. And it's important to remember that if you're planning cruises, especially if you're looking for like the next year, you might want to really pay attention to with these prices and what's going on, because things are just continuously getting more and more expensive.
Well, I mean, it's like that with everything. Everything's exponentially more expensive, food and everything else. So they got to be able to meet that. Plus, they got to make up revenue that they lost while they were closed for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Enormous amounts of debt that they have to kind of suffer through. They've got, Carnival has lots of ideas for expansions. I think they put a pause on future ships right now.
Yeah,
but
because they want to pay for the 3 ships that they built already.
And not Carnival Corporation, but Carnival, the cruise line. But then we got this new port being put together, which is costing a lot of money. And so I feel like that, things are only going to get a little bit more expensive. It's all for a good thing, but supporting this company that we all love. But
it's, for all y'all looking for good deals, I mean, it's time for y'all to get in the casino.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That is something that can't be said enough. I don't get casino deals like you get casino deals, and I am envious at times because my casino deal, I feel like I'm paying more. I get that casino deal that they're like, we don't think you're spending any money here. So
take $1,000 off. Well, that still leaves me $1,000 to pay.
Yeah. So it's pretty rough, man. But I mean, I get the offers for the free drinks in the casino and that kind of crap, but I would rather have, a deeply discounted cruise. But, Carnival isn't giving them out anymore like they used to. So you really have to really think about a lot of that. There were those people that during the pandemic kind of stacked up. They were able to stack up on those cruises and got vouchers for a lot of things that got canceled. And, now we're kind of past that point where, we're now in the booking season that was beyond those. Yeah. And we're well beyond. And so It's not like it used to be. So I'll put it that way. So a 7-day cruise can get up there pretty quick, especially depending on what time of the year you cruise. So, which kind of leads us into our main topic, sir.
Yeah.
Which is planning a
cruise. Yeah. Which, even veterans have hard times planning cruises because there's things that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, one of the main factors that I look at is, of course, price.
Yeah.
So, if I want to take an Alaskan cruise, I can't afford it because it's in there's only one time a year that you can go.
Yeah. And I will say, for someone that's booked an Alaskan cruise, the things that you have to think of is quite expensive. So not everyone lives around Seattle. And so the vast majority of us don't. Actually, that's a fact. I didn't have to look that up. Yeah.
Oklahoma's not near Seattle.
No, nowhere near it. So you have to really think about some of the things that kind of come into play with an Alaskan cruise. One thing that I have to think about is the flight going out there, because I'm sure as hell not driving. So I learned that. So
that's you thought that Florida was a long drive.
Yeah.
Seattle's even longer.
Yeah. Well, those flights aren't cheap. And here in Oklahoma.
Well, hold on. Before we took this Florida trip, you were wanting to do this Alaskan cruise a while back, and you were like, "I can drive it."
Yeah, no,
and it's amazing what one trip does to that.
Yeah, no, can't do it. It's not going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. So the funny thing is the flight itself, they're pretty expensive. I think here in Oklahoma, we do have like the odd lucky flight that goes out there. If you're willing to fly, like maybe Alaskan Airlines or something like that, they actually kind of home port out here for maintenance and stuff things. So you can actually find a cheap flight that goes there, but every once in a while. But
it's also, you got American Airlines, and they'll go out there because we're the maintenance hub for American.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. It's like, man, I've got to really find something that's going to work for us. It's not cheap, and it's even worse is hotels in Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're going to spend one night in Seattle. I'm not going to do all this, pay for all this, and risk showing up the day of. We're going to go in the day before, and we're going to stay one night in Seattle. The only thing I want to see is I want to go to the market where they throw the fish. That's all I want to do.
Okay. Well, why not go see the Space Needle too?
No,
why not?
I said the only thing that I want to do is see them throw fish. So,
I'll throw a fish at you.
No, these people throw them and catch them, sir. You would just throw it at me and
that's the first part. I throw it at you and you catch it.
No, that's not how it works. I don't do the catching. Anyways, so
it's neither here nor there. I throw it, you catch it. Is what it's supposed to be.
Anyways, I just, I think it's strange, and I'm all about bringing the strange and being all about the strange.
Or not this again.
So, and hashtag CCP strange. So why are you doing that? Anyways, so I just think that it would be interesting to go see that. I don't know why. It's just something I want to see. And isn't there like a wall where people stick bubble gum onto or something like that?
There's the
Anyways,
sound garden. There's a lot of stuff to do in
now I
Seattle.
want to see the bubblegum wall. That's what I want to see. So, anyways,
Out of all the things that you want to see a bubblegum wall?
yeah, that. So, anyways, I want to do
You
those
can go to
things.
Kurt Cobain's house and see where he blew his head
No,
off.
I don't want to do that. Anyways, not the bubblegum wall at all. So, but these are the things I have to think of. These are the things I have to plan for. Unfortunately, I've planned this cruise a long time ago. I booked it and everything. You know what you can't do way, way, way in advance is book some of these other things. So I can now, I think I can book the flights now. So I need to go on and do all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming. It's about almost 6 months to. You should be able to book
Mm-hmm.
the flights now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I booked the flights now. I booked the hotels. I'm just trying to do things as cheap as possible. It's not a very cheap city though. But those are the things you have to think about whenever you're booking your cruise, no matter what city you're coming out of. If you're not near it, then you're going to have to get there somehow. And so you have to think about how you're going to fly, how many people are going, what you're doing. So,
Yeah. Another thing you want to look at also is like the destinations. You're trying to figure out what cruise you want to take, because I mean, if you're cruising out of Galveston, you're almost guaranteed to go to Cozumel.
mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to go somewhere else, you're going to have to go to a different port like Miami or Port Canaveral or Jacksonville or even Long Beach, California, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hit up different ports of call.
Yeah.
So, that's something else you want to look at. Figure out what islands you want to see. If you want to go to St. Thomas, you may find a cruise going there from Galveston, but the best bet is to go to like one of the Florida ports or even Mobile.
Yeah. And if you're like us, if you're always looking for the strange, you can always go
Good Lord.
and look for journey cruises. And journey cruises are that way because it's a journey because it's actually going somewhere that they don't typically go. So I always like looking for those journey cruises. And one of my things on my to-do list, things that I absolutely want to do, is the entire Panama Canal. Now, I don't want to do one of those, wimpy, let's go look at the canal and turn around. I want to go through the whole thing and enjoy it.
Well, they go through the whole thing and then they just turn around and come back.
Yeah, depending on which one. There's some that actually go back and around and go into California. And so, which I think would be fantastic. So just depending, you can get on a repositioning cruise, and
that brings us to another point. Are you going to a cruise like that where you go from, like, say, Florida through the Panama Canal and get off in California, or are you going to do a Atlantic crossing or Trans-Pacific crossing? At those points, you absolutely need a passport. If you're one of those people who use a birth certificate and a photo ID, you won't be able to take those cruises.
Yeah. And I believe, I'm not sure about the passport card. I believe you need a book. You need the book.
Book if you're going on transatlantic or Trans-Pacific.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
if you're doing like the Panama Canal thing, you can get away with the passport card.
Yeah. As long as you're ending in a U.S. port, I think you're good with the book. So, and that's what I use as a passport card. So,
yeah.
But another thing I did want to bring up was, if you are flying, you have to think about the things like how you're going to get to the cruise terminal. Uber is not always your best option. And when you're planning these things out, anything that has a fluctuation in price like that, you may end up, hurting yourself in the long run, depending on how far things are.
Oh yeah. I mean, like Uber was going to cost it. Last time I flew to Galveston or to Houston to go to Galveston, Uber was going to cost around $100 and something, and found Galveston Express, which is one of those transfer type things where you pay one set price and they drop you. Of course, there's multiple people in there. It's a bus,
Yeah.
but they'll drop you off at your hotel and everything for a flat rate.
Yeah. And you always want to be upfront with, like, if you're taking a cabbie or anything like that, you always want to be upfront with what is expected. Like, what am I paying to get point A to point B? So the cabbie tried to take advantage of a Megan when she went to Miami. And so thankfully we're able to thwart him a little bit, but he actually was like, I'm going to leave and I have your luggage in my car and I don't care.
Really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he was, I was not happy about it. And it was this bad deal all around. But yeah, no, it was quite ridiculous. And you also,
and it was across the street we were across the street from the airport anyway.
Yeah, he wanted like $60. So yeah. No. Yeah, it was wild. So you want to be upfront about it. So like when I went to New Orleans, talked to this cabbie, man, they have a set price. If you're going downtown in New Orleans from the airport, it is a set price no matter where you're going in that downtown area. So they exactly what you're paying. And so the same thing, like if you're in Las Vegas, but I mean, if you're cruising out of Las Vegas, it would be kind of weird. So, but it would be. So,
okay. Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, double check the price. Make sure you're not just jumping in a vehicle where you don't know what you're going to pay. So, because usually they have a set price coming from the airport.
So also, if you're driving in, you want to think about parking.
Yes.
There is one place in Galveston that I always park because it's right across the street from the terminal.
Betty's house.
No, not Betty.
Oh. Who? What are we talking about? Oh, Port of Galveston.
I'm going to stop you. I am going.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't park at the port. I park across the street from the port.
Well, yeah. Port, like the lot A or B.
No.
Oh.
It's off port. It's an independent thing.
Oh, okay.
It's called Easy Park, I believe.
Oh, Easy Park. Okay, I see.
Yeah, they put you in a golf cart and drive you to the corner and you cross the street.
Yeah, my favorite time ever parking in Galveston was our wedding cruise when we stayed at the Hotel Galvez, and at that time they no longer do this, but at that time they just let you stay in their parking lot. And there are some hotels that'll let you do this in Galveston still. They're far fewer than there used to be.
Yeah.
But and even lesser still that are safe to do so. But because they don't watch your vehicle at all.
No. Yeah.
But would just load us up.
Parking.
Yeah. They'd load you up in the vehicle beforehand. You just let them know what time you had to be there. And they're ready for you. They'd take you down there, drop you off, and they'd be like, all right, we're going to be in this spot whenever you get off the ship. I'm like, okay. And sure enough, and it was great. We got back to Hotel Galvez. They had my truck running, ready for me to just throw my bags in and go.
Are you sure you didn't hit the key, the remote start?
Oh, I'm sure. So no. It was up front, ready to go. They knew that we were pulling up, and I didn't have to handle my bags. They took my bags with, threw them right in. So they grabbed Megan and threw her right in there. So it was great. So what are you talking about? So
I heard what you slipped in there. I heard it.
Anyways, hey.
You're gonna get so.
We got other things to talk about.
Do we?
Yeah, but what we're getting at is plan for your cruise as much as possible. Also, like, not to get too deep into tips and tricks, but make sure you have all the things for your cruise. Make sure you have your documents. Make sure you're ready. I had somebody recently, there was a friend of mine that very disappointed, does not watch our show. So I can openly talk trash because she was like the day before her cruise, ready to go, about to get on an airplane. I was like, "What time's your check-in?" She goes, "What?" My what? I was like, you have not checked in. So we had to check her in real quickly. I was like, you are ridiculous. I was like, you didn't watch any of the videos I sent you.
Yeah, and you also have to, like, if you have a disability, you need to make sure that they have ADA rooms available on the ship.
Also, did you know? And I know if you book with a PVP or a travel agent, did you know that you can't really do this when you are booking yourself, but that I know of anyways, because I've only booked myself like once. I could be wrong on some of this, but I'm pretty confident that you can't do this. So I think you would have to call Carnival and let them know. I have someone in my family that is allergic to feathers. So the feather down. So that has to be noted because the typical pillows you get from Carnival are the down pillows. So the used to anyways. And so now we always make sure that it's noted, and they make sure that we have the right pillows. And our room steward always brings it up. I changed your pillows, sir. And I'm always like, oh, thank you.
Well, I believe it's in the same area as do you need an ADA room, because it's like special requirements. Do you have any allergies and stuff like that? That's where it asks it. So I believe you can request it, but I don't. If I have something like that, of course I've never booked myself. I've always used a PVP or travel agent, just because I'll mess up. I know I will.
Exactly. Exactly, sir.
It's like I was telling a story, of a very close friend of mine passed away, but last year he booked a cruise. I went over to his house, and we're talking, and he wanted to book a cruise for his children's birthday in November, and I was like, well, let me know if you decide to do it, because I have a good PVP and I have a great travel agent. And he lived at the time about 30 minutes away from, or 30, 40 minutes away from me. And I'm driving home, and I get a text from him saying, "Hey, I booked a cruise." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I got this great deal. And I went ahead and booked it." On your own? Yeah. Did you make sure it was an ADA room? Because he was, at the time, he had a book. He needed at least an ambulatory ADA room.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You've got a broken back. You need an ADA room."
Yeah.
It's like, "Well, how do I do that?" I was like, "Well, you're supposed to do it before you check out."
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's rough.
So
now he's stuck with a room that may not work for him.
But
just having those kind of things just ready to go, especially if you're booking with your PVP or your travel agent, you just let them know, "Hey, can you notate that I need this?" And they're typically fine, especially if it's something small like that, like pillows. That's easy notations, things that they can change and they can accommodate for you. Keep in mind that there are certain times of the year also that is better to book if you're looking to save a few dollars. Typically anytime that schools are out, then to me, cruising is out.
Yeah, because that's when anytime school is out, that's when prices go up.
Yeah.
Anytime
And
it's in, they go down.
and I will say that, you know, for all the crap that, like people give, like kids and all that. And man, if you want to cruise with as little kids as possible and you don't want to jump over the Virgin cruises, then you need to book, at a time that the kids are in school,
Yeah.
because it has become harder and harder to get your kids out for an entire week of school. And so if you're booking, week plus cruise, you'll have less kids on there. Typically you get a lot of homeschool kids and stuff like that, but never anything too crazy. And so I just, those summer cruises, man, they could be nuts.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're looking at one. Me and you are looking at one next summer, the Family Room Group Cruise 2.
Exactly.
And that is a July cruise. And so that's a perfect time of year to go cruising.
It's going to be 150 degrees.
Yeah.
Near the equator, which is where we'll, where Honduras is. And
yeah. It'd be nice. So, but you get the nice cool water, you get the fun and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
It's just a matter of, being able to book.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, my Alaskan cruise is slowly killing me. That's the other thing. If you don't have all your money to book the cruise and you're going to make payments, prepare for that, because I use Uplift when I do my booking. It pays your booking off right away, and I don't pay any interest in my cruise, so I can set it up for 6 months, 0 interest, and it sets me up on a really nice payment plan. And this is not an advertisement for them, but I'm just saying it is very easy to use. I can change my payment dates and all that stuff, and they don't add anything to interest or anything like that. So I kind of match it to my paydays and all those things. So that it's very useful. And I have multiple cruises on there, or flights, because Southwest also uses Uplift, and so do other companies. But so I have multiple things on there. So it's like a house payment, man. Especially the 2-week Alaskan cruise. Oh, I only got a few more payments left on it, and that thing is just going to drop. But man, it's just wild how expensive it can be. And so that's what I'm really waiting for, is for those to drop off, and I can get to where we can follow our advice on booking early.
Now, there is one last thing you should really look into, and that's the size of the ship.
Ooh.
Do you like big ships? Do you like mid-sized ships? Do you like small ships? Because you go over to Royal or something, and they are flooding the market with huge ships.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a small ship left. I think they're all Oasis.
They got them, but they're not as advertised.
And then you got, Carnival that has, like the Pride and the Spirit and all them that are still around, that are really small ships. They're not as small as say the Ecstasy, which was just retired last year, but they're still kind of, pretty small ships. And then you got the medium-sized ships of theirs, like the Dream and the Vista and all them. And then you got the almost Oasis-sized ships,
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about that is if you cruise often, you can kind of figure out what your style is. I started out on the Dream class ships. I love the Dream class, and I think if you're a new cruiser, that's kind of like the perfect spot to start. I think if now that I've done an XL class, I kind of like that a lot. It's probably been my favorite cruise so far.
I really like the Dream class. Of course, my first cruise was on the Ecstasy, but the Dream class was, the Magic, which is, I did 5 cruises on the Magic.
Yeah.
And I think I did 5, maybe it was 4. I don't remember, but I did a majority of my cruises on the Dream class.
Yeah.
And then I really didn't like the Vista, the layout of the Vista, but they made up for it by, the layout of the Celebration was, I really dug it. I mean, it was easy. Once you got a hold of the layout, which is, everything's on one side of the ship.
Yeah.
Basically. So.
Yeah. So to me, really, my hierarchy right now is Excel class, Vista class, and then Dream class. I love the Vista. It's what I'm going on here in a few weeks, and I'm excited and also sad because they're doing the repositioning and all those things. We are getting an Excel class ship, which I can't be too mad about.
I think that's all. And, definitely get the travel insurance. So.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Definitely check that out. The travel insurance, very important. We've discussed that in the past few episodes. Definitely, be prepared for the unexpected. So that's all we can really say.
Yeah.
Anyways, make sure you guys check us out on Facebook over at facebook.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. There you'll see our many funny Facebook posts. And we also have the SpeakPipe page over at speakpipe.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. Links down in the description. You can leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. It'd be a lot of fun if you did so. So especially if you have a question that you want us to address on the show or anything like that. We do have our Spooktober event or whatever we're calling it. It's a pirate party or something.
I don't know. You named it.
I don't know. It was a ridiculous name. It's going to be October 28th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be live on Facebook. Make sure you were able to come. It would be so wonderful to have you there. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. So you'll be able to see us do this crap live, and we will get strange with it. So anyways, just know that you are unique, you are special, and you are loved.
And remember, if you're going to get jiggy with it on your balcony, you are being recorded. Bye.
Save the foosball tables. Bye-bye. See ya.